Honestly, I wasn't gonna do anything today, but I literally have got jack all of anything else to do because there's nothing else I can do. So I guess you're stuck with me for now. Not to mention somebody I respect is
Charlie,
talking about someone that I also greatly deeply respect, so I can't pass up this chance. So, from Popo Medic himself, great channel, great dude, love the guy, love his content. I'll try to get back into it very soon. Um, from Popo Medic, Charlie Kirk's death deeply affected me. You are not alone, brother. You're not alone. And he and I have seen quite a lot. Uh, you know, he knows how stuff is. So let's just jump into it. Rest in peace, Charlie. Before I do anything else, so I don't go ranting my head off for 50 frickin' minutes and people get sick of me.
Charlie Kirk's death.
Whoops, the fucking volume. All right, it's turned all the way up. Let's go.
Deeply affected me. Like I know it has many of you. And regardless of your politics, what happened on September 10th marked a stark turning point in our country. And in the aftermath, something was exposed. The celebration really showed how diseased the culture has become.
Well, it's not the culture because here's the thing, right? Is that I know he's going to try to be, well, I'm familiar with him. He tries not to, he tries to be in the middle of things, tries to be the balance, right? Tries to be the bridge in between two things. He's going to try to be, center, essentially. As fallacious, wrong, false, and absolutely just on every level factually incorrect that is. He's going to do that so that, he's trying to do good misguidedly. You don't defeat evil by being good to evil. You defeat evil by destroying it. So there's that. Culture is something shared, right? Like I'm pretty sure you and I have very, very much a lot of the same culture. You and me watching this. If you believe in the First Amendment, if you believe in the Second being there to protect and defend it and to fight against tyrannical government, keep the government in check. And people are going to bring up the arguments all the goddamn time like, oh, well, how are you going to use two-way against a military superpower? Well, I don't know. If that military superpower is literally outnumbered over 1,000,000 to 1, the numbers stop. You can have all the bombs, all the missiles, all the aircraft, all the goddamn machine guns, and everything you want. But if you're outnumbered by a literal million, well, I don't know. People love to bring up Vietnam all the goddamn time. We were always outnumbered in Afghanistan, and that was by the hundreds of thousands to 1. We still won, yes, the battles, but we definitely lost the war. Or at least we were forced to, because we weren't allowed to do what we were supposed to do, which was to wage a war. To destroy our enemies, not allow them to survive and have a forever freaking, funding of the military-industrial complex, whatever. But you and I guarantee, believe in quite a few things that we share culture from. The flag above all else, loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, personal courage, right? You believe in moral and ethical objective good. The 1A, the 2A, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. and you believe in good and evil, that means if you agree with all those things, you and I share a culture. But there can be cultures that exist parallel, perpendicular, or asymmetrical. And that's what we're seeing right now. So to say that it's our entire culture, that's wrong. That's entirely proofably falsehood. Because yes, there's millions on social media. Yes, there's millions who are on the internet all the damn time. Right? And that's part of some culture, which are subcultures of our main culture of being an American. Right? City, suburban, all that. But when all combined, it's American culture that's shared. And do you see the vast majority of people who share all these things with you and I, who share our culture, doing this evil, sick, twisted shit? No? Well, my boy Popo over here is indisputably and irrefutably wrong. So he can't say our culture or we as a culture. There's two opposing cultures right now. One that's celebrating the death of their political opponents, and one who is just trying and gearing up to get ready to defend themselves and not harming nobody. It's pretty distinct. That being said, I'm really goddamn tired of this centrist bullshit. You want to be in the middle and in the center? Okay, you shouldn't get to vote. In fact, you shouldn't be allowed to have any influence over anything that happens that everybody else decides. If you're centrist in between the fight of good and evil, you're choosing evil. That's a default. I'm so tired of this falsity, these fallacies. Anyway, let's continue. I've probably already pissed people off, but whatever.
Charlie Kirk just got put down like a fucking dog in Utah.
CK got AK.
We live in a moment where young men, immersed endlessly online, are not just wasting their time, but are being rewired.
Learning more information about the suspected gunman is post.
Their thoughts hijacked by algorithms that reward outrage. Their emotions manipulated by content designed to inflame. They are taught that cynicism is wisdom, that mockery is strength, that cruelty is courage. And in that digital noise, good men are absent. The men who could guide, men of faith, of family, of quiet conviction. These are the men that rarely enter the arena. These are men like you and me. Charlie's death made me ask myself, what am I doing? Does it matter? What am I doing to create a better world? Is there something more that I can do? Because the issue...
Yes, you already do a great deal for the world. You create docu-series, mini docs that take very relevant, and I mean that, very relevant information that many should have, putting it into a miniaturized form, condensed form, and then gifting that to people. You're already doing a service. A service to people who may or may not have had awareness of such things, or those who, upon having had an awareness, figure out consistently more. I mean, some of the stuff you've covered, I lived through. And as an older man to a younger man, thank you for your service. I do appreciate it. But you are doing a great deal already. Can you do more? Sure. Positively so. Share with your peers. Share with those like you. Discern in between those that are good and evil in your circle. Help, uplift, give power to, enable, assist, protect, defend those who are like you and me. Do more for them, not just everyone. Because quite obviously, as we're finding out, Not everyone deserves it. And in fact, a great number deserves something entirely different. Be good to those who are good and deserving. That's the more you could do. That's the greater you that is achievable. I'm not going to sit here and ask people to change the whole fucking world. You can't. Not alone and not by yourself. Sure, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. But that's just yourself. It starts with you. It starts with me. And people will say, oh, well, one person can change the world. Can they do it alone? Have they? Has anyone? Go ahead, find me someone who single-handedly, by themselves, without the help of nobody and nothing else, have enacted great changes in the world, in human history. Go ahead. Look for someone those conditions apply to, and you're not going to find any. Because it took a cooperative of people to accomplish such things, under a hierarchy of a leadership. Great people are not great alone by themselves. They are natured and nurtured by their environment and by the people around them. So, since it starts with the individual, it means everything that you can do to start changes in the world around you directly is what I have already said. And much as I hate people myself, I'm very antisocial. I mean, I can socialize. I can strike up, talk to anybody, anywhere. Doesn't matter who it is. Even if it's a Democrat, I can pretend that I'm not something they would try to kill. But even I find myself helping some old lady on the side of the highway when I've got 30 minutes to get to an appointment and her tire's blown out in the front. And she doesn't have the tools, and tow truck would take too long. And she probably can't afford it. Especially driving a 2002, a Dodge Caravan. So, I do that something seeming small to most, big for me, because it takes time, attention, energy, and resources from myself and my son to do such good things. I'd much rather not, but I feel compelled to. But not by itself because of compulsion, but because it is a good thing to do. And then they're going to tell that story to someone. I don't need to say when, where, why, or who, or what, or how. I've done this a few times for people. I've got a truck. But that good may not have direct returns for me. And I may stay absolutely poor, destitute, and frickin' broken the rest of my goddamn existence I got left. But that good that I've done, those actions I've taken to help others, to do good for others, that's going to affect them and somebody close to them. And even if it's 1 out of 10,000, 1 out of 100,000, 1 out of a million, that's still something small that could start something greater. Or reinforce what's already known to be good. So yeah, don't expect to try and just change the whole entire world within a short span of a lifetime. Stuff like that is rarities, and they're aberrations in history of humanity. But do what is good that you can around yourself right now. Do good with what is within your control and sphere of influence. Forget the rest. because it's only in cooperation with other humans you could do bigger things. That being said, sorry. Monologue. I'm gonna move on.
The issue isn't only about the men who make the news. The same system that radicalizes a few is gutting the rest, leaving millions of young men weaker, lonelier, and more broken than ever. We remove fathers from their homes and shepherds from the flock. There's an entire generation growing up online without a single hand on the shoulder saying, "This is the way." We scrapped rites of passage and replaced it with instant gratification and living beyond our means. Adolescence got longer and manhood never arrived. We traded vocation for validation, craft for clout, so a man's worth is measured in views, not virtue, but in analytics, not mastery.
For the first time, a man has flown an airplane faster than the speed of sound.
We built an economy that monetizes distraction, feeds that reward outrage, pornography that counterfeits intimacy, for hits of dopamine where discipline should live. We normalized infidelity and taught men to hedge their hearts, keep one foot in, one foot out, so loyalty feels naive and betrayal feels modern. We turned
Brother, where to address what here? I'll address the gender divide first. The gender divide is manufactured. It's generated. It's made. It's synthetic. Women are raised entirely separate from men and differently. They're raised to be a different class, a different breed, a different species altogether. Men are raised nowadays to believe that if they are not like women, they're wrong, evil, and bad. This is on purpose. This is so that they can be controlled. When real masculinity fights for freedom, liberty, and justice. Everything everyone loves and holds dear today that is part of the civilization we have was built by such men. And they've managed to try and take it all away, but it's returning. They overplayed their hand. Women and girls are raised to perpetuate each other. Men are all bad, and, if men don't bow to them, then they're evil and bad and useless. So therefore, we should do for our own and only. They're raised to hate children and to murder them. Feminism. Like Sean had said, and she's right in this, it is leftism for females to ensure that the family is always broken and split apart. A unified gender divide is never good when it comes to ushering in the false utopia. Because a strong family unit and support network and structure is the very worst thing against others' idea of utopia. Because if you have your own personal family and familial utopia, you have no need for the greater collective, forced utopia they desire. And that's everybody on the left. All of them. The gender divide was constructed, built up, and wedged to ensure that the unity between the sexes and genders never comes to pass again. The trouble is that female nature is naturally inclined towards such. The Garden of Eden story directly applies, and we have all the evidence for it today. Women are naturally have a natural proclivity towards giving precedence to emotion over logic and fact. And if man had not chosen to fall along with them, they would have been left themselves. But it was the unity between man and woman, husband and wife, father and mother, that built the very civilization upon whose almost gutted out foundation. Everything else right now is being attempted at being built. So that being said, at this point in time, the men of the Western Hemisphere, the Western world, are starting to return and starting to wake up to the truth and reality of everything and anything around them. Whereas women have just gone farther left because they refuse, due to their neurotic nature, to accept the truth, accountability, responsibility of what they have chosen to do to all of us. We gave them unearned, still undeserved, freedom and privilege, and it has destroyed us. Gen Z and Gen Alpha combined together are very strongly leaning towards repealing the 19th Amendment. It has done nothing good, and I support it. As an older man, we should have taken care of this way beforehand, but we were too weak. But I'm still around, and while I'm still around, I will try to help. That being said, the only way to bring back the gender unity is, unfortunately, to replace the Western female entirely, on every level, in every place, in every home, in every family. Don't start families with these women. They have deeply, deeply ingrained proclivity towards your destruction. Get a passport. Go find a good girl overseas from a strict, strong, traditional family. Start from there. Begin a powerful lineage. Make sure they are strict and stuck in their ways. And if you do bring them over here, make sure you live in an area where everybody else is strictly traditional and stuck in their ways. That being said, that's what I'm going to address for that one, because there's a lot of other things. But it's pretty easy to see the fallacy and a bunch of other stuff. But like I said, he's trying to pull towards both sides, and he's going to get split down the middle. That's on him, unfortunately.
Romance into a marketplace and lovers into inventory. We turn the body from a tool into a trophy. We replaced brotherhood with broadcast, then tried to fill the ache with parasocial so-called heroes and comment wars. We crowned irony's wisdom so sincerity feels embarrassing and repentance impossible. The armor of sarcasm keeps every spear and every embrace out, and under it all runs the loop: comparison, envy, numbness, porn, shame, withdrawal, anger, more scrolling, more scrolling, more scrolling. This is how men hollow out, not in a single collapse, but in 1,000 tiny surrenders. So now, I enter the arena, because men once wrote letters, soaked and longing from trenches and ships. They stormed beaches and raised flags where freedom hung by a thread, then came home and built families with loyalty that did not break. They courted women with poetry, they married them with vows, and they loved them with endurance. And now an entire generation surrendered before our eyes. Simply put, young men are lost.
I am lost.
So I am waging a digital crusade to educate, to inspire, to mentor a generation of men starving for the very church they mock.
A lot of people are going to hate him for this and hate me for it, but religion is one of the most effective and one of the most solidly built foundations upon which the vast majority could easily and very, very, very powerfully find that or some of the answers to their meaning question. People think that morality and ethics came out of a vacuum. That just, it's a be-all, end-all, be good or be bad. No, it's not. There's literally cultures today that believe that gifting a disease to someone else, and they think of it as gifting, or cursing someone else with a disease, will rid them of theirs. And they think that's morally and ethically good, when objectively it's not in the slightest. But we get all of these things, this morality and ethics, it's all come from our religions. Our religions are the solid base foundation, absolute, upon which everything else has been built. It's where we get the word good from. So, yes, religion. It turns out humanity severely needs it. That being said, I personally am in between beliefs. However, praying the rosary like I did for Charlie Kirk, for their family, and for Asmund Dad, Asmund Gold's father, that actually felt relieving. There's most certainly something there. That being said, also, I don't necessarily believe. It's hard for me to. Especially where I'm at. My life's a living hell. Only good thing in it is my son. And I have done nothing to deserve where I am right now. However, if only just to honor others and maybe have a connection to something else, I pray. However, I don't expect an answer. That being said, who knows if it'll be the same for you. But it seems like, beyond any doubt, that humans do need some kind of prayer and something to believe in bigger than themselves. And when you look throughout history, all of the biggest things accomplished were very strongly tied to religion, now weren't they? Food for thought. That's all I got on that.
So calling all the hopeless, the helpless, the weak, the anxious, the afraid, the fatherless, the broken-hearted, the brave, the Protestant, the agnostic, and the atheist. Welcome to Crusaders Guild, USA. If you would like to become a member and follow along the journey, subscribe to my second channel under my name, Dan Canavo, for weekly videos, and join the ranks at CrusadersGuildUSA.com.
Well, I do like the idea. We need to bring back men's only spaces. We need to bring back a sense of brotherhood, a sense of familial places where men come together. Because when it comes to the building, the construction, the maintenance, sustenance, provision of everything, it all starts with men. We need to bring those back. So I agree with what he's doing here. Now, I'm a bit skeptical about joining any big giant group or brotherhoods, period, because I've been part of many. And all and every one of them has always gravely disappointed me. People speak about military brotherhood. Well, the greater amount of those I served with, for whom I was there, for whom I did any and all for. Where are they now? Poof. Gone. Non-existent. Sorry, bub, only knew you for 10 years. No help, no brotherhood, no assistance. No reciprocation either. I've also been member of a few different groups that claim to be for brotherhood. They all turned out to be money churning schemes like most charities are. To funnel money to somebody at the top. What a crock of bullshit. I've tried some religious organizations. Found out the greater amount of them are very corrupt and morally bankrupt. So, I'm highly cynical, highly skeptical, hyper paranoid. I don't even know if that covers it. I have felt nothing but betrayal and the traitor's hand my whole life. So, yeah. I've done much for others, never got anything in return. There's a few on this channel who have tried, but you know, I'm not trying to be a drain on someone's existence by themselves. That's unfair and it's unethical and immoral. Anyway, I'm gonna stop freaking ranting. Nobody cares anyway. All right, so that was from Popo Medic. Charlie Kirk's death deeply affected me. Link to his video will be in the description box down below. So you can go and click on all his things and the Crusader thing. But yeah, and it's funny that he's Catholic too, because I had already determined he was Catholic. I was raised Roman Catholic, so he felt familiar to me. Now I know why, beyond his and I experience of certain things. So yeah, that being said, what do you think? You let me know in the comments down below. Okay, you know what time it is. Be good. Being passive or not standing up to evil is not good. It's called banal evil. If you don't stand in the way of evil, you condone and you enable it. So be good. Be safe. Make it be safe and don't compromise safety and security for nobody and nothing. We now know that one side of stuff is going to murder us. And it's the entire left. All of them. I've yet to see any one of them actually truthfully say something akin to a, this is bad, evil, and immoral. So, since we know for sure death and disaster is only a second away, do what you can about that today. And if you need help in such a thing, join the Discord. I tell you all everything I know how to do for free. That being said, I'll see you in the next one. I am Badger 7 Actual, the formerly almost veteran Black Cat Badger, out.